welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 30. Oh my god, 30 weeks already of Turtle Tussle action. Of course, your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. As I think we might have to restart this. God damn it. As we're jumping into our first series, as we're jumping into our first matchup, and so good. And we will have to remake. It's all good, but we do have our first series. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked. This tournament is an open tournament, open to all. It is a bi-weekly, bear that in mind, not every single week, but every 2 weeks we do have this event. We do host this event, open to all regions, all shapes, all sizes, and we have quite a lineup here this week. We have some Europeans that have stayed up late into the night. We have some Koreans that are woken up early, and we have some players from the Americas which are ready, which are primed here for the event, which is why I'm happy to see for the first time in quite some time, Vindicta. Miguelito, papi. Oh my, mijito. My favorite. Oh no. But yes, Vindicta is going to be rocking up against ReBellioN in an NA versus Korea match, and here we go. We're now jumping into our first series of the broadcast, and spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines we have our American Terran player, the blue Terran representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner we have the red Protoss player representing among SC2 people. It is ReBellioN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of 3. Let's go. And coming into this, I'm ready, I'm excited. I think I lean slightly towards Vindicta just because I have seen him show some prowess in TvP over the past couple of months. I do think that he is one to be taken quite seriously here in this matchup. ReBellioN on the flip side likewise has been improving a lot. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a back and forth series here between ReBellioN and Vindicta. We'll see how this does turn out. Let's go. Meanwhile, I do also want to apologize as well for those that were here yesterday when it comes to either Code for Giants Cup or the Rex March Madness. I do apologize for not being able to cover either one. It was the Code for Giants Cup, which was in 24 hours ago, where unfortunately I wasn't able to cover it because I could not sleep. I had a rough night last night, and I wasn't able to sleep beforehand. Basically, I was like lying in bed for like 6 hours. Like I was trying to get some rest before Code for Giants Cup. By the time Code for Giants Cup began, I was still awake. And I was like, I can't. Like, I could cast, but it would not be good. So, unfortunately, I missed out on Code for Giants Cup, so we're going to be covering that via replays over the weekend. Oh, sorry, I should say next week. Also, for Rex March Madness, if you were here, this would have been, what, at this point, 12 hours ago. I was live, we were good to go, but unfortunately something was happening with our internet and it was just not stable. OBS was struggling. In game I was getting like 1,000 ping. It was crazy. So unfortunately we weren't able to cover Rex March Madness last night either. So just really smooth day yesterday. So usually we're live, you know, twice a day, every single day. Yesterday, both broadcasts, we weren't able to bring them to fruition, so I do apologize for that. But for both events, we're going to be catching up via replays. Shout out to the organizers of both events. I have received replay packs from both tournaments, from Code for Giants Cup and Rex March Madness, and we'll be covering those replays over the next week. Rex March Madness should be on Saturday, should be this weekend, and Code for Giants Cup will be next week. So we'll still be casting it, but via replays instead, which is less than ideal, but you know, better than nothing. And again, just internet was just very unstable. I'll be honest, I'm very anxious casting right now just because I don't know if the internet's gonna die again, but everything looks good so far. Everything looks stable, everything looks okay, so we should be okay to settle in. For whatever reason, yeah, yesterday it was just very spiky. I was just crazy spikes up and down. Everything was dying. For now, though, we're settling in. They're going to be a Stargate open out of ReBellioN. Vindicta does cover it. He does knock himself into the main as well. Let's go. Vindicta, he's got some moves. Dives into the main base, does wreak some havoc, does force a reaction. Even wastes energy on the Oracle as well. So very nice damage here. Not just scouting, but forcing this reaction, forcing some lost mining time. Nice damage so far out of Vindicta. Likewise, Hellion into the mineral line is going to go down, but does get a full scout of everything that's going on. And across the map, it's going to be on Migs to keep up with the Oracle. Now, because the NG overcharged, despite the Oracle spending energy, still pretty well, pretty topped up. Ooh, and this is a build that ReBellioN does mix in from time to time. What do we see? A fleet beacon. We're rushing to a fleet beacon. Now, don't get ahead of ourselves here. This is not for Skytoss. This is not for Skytoss, at least not usually. This should be not a rush into Carrier, not a rush into Tempest, not necessarily. This should be for the Mothership, where we're going to be rushing into the Mothership. We can support with a couple of Skytoss units, but I should emphasize no second Stargate. It's going to be a ground-based composition with extra gateways, Mothership, and ideally a recall into the main. So Fleet Beacon is done, and we should soon be seeing that Mothership. Meanwhile, across the map, the Oracle is deflected. So far, Migs is keeping up, and as we mentioned, there's that Mothership. And again, the reason why we know this is because this is a build that ReBellioN does enjoy whipping out once in a series, at least once in a series, in a PvT. So this is a specialized PvT build. As we mentioned, the goal here is to recall. It's a very cheeky move, and we have seen this work quite a lot against Zerg players. Specifically, when you recall into the main base, you should be recalling with sentries, and you'll have force fields. You'll have force fields to wall off the ramp, to wall off these areas, and to just lock the army out, and that can insta-win you the game against Zerg. Against Terran, it's a little bit different because Terran players have medevac, so they can respond and they can try to drop into their own base and try to alleviate pressure that way. So Terran players have a little bit more mobility, for example, but it's going to come down to whether or not this Mothership gets scouted. And so far, there is no scout. So far, this is hidden. There is that one Tempest on the way, but again, mass gateways, right? We have a gateway explosion here as well, so we're getting up to how many around, what, 6, 7, 8 gates are getting ready. Here comes our Mothership. Sentries are warping in, and as we mentioned, it's going to be all about those force fields. Now, the next big step, can the Mothership get across the map without being scouted? That's the next big thing here. Raven Harass coming in, Mothership is on the way, and so far, Vindicta, he is contained. He's contained on 2 bases. He doesn't see what's going on. Again, we're just gearing up for that recall. Auto Turret Harass into the mineral line. Probes are going down. This is some good damage. But Migs doesn't scout the main. He doesn't see the fleet beacon. He doesn't know. Does not know. Catching up with the chat. Chat te pegahueta. Some scrub as well. Tavito, papi, Tavito. And here we go. Here comes the Mothership. Here comes the mass recall. Stasis goes off. Drop is on the way. Mothership gets spotted. And there's that recall into the main. Onto Stim. Can Stim finish? Up. Oh my god. Yeah, the recall does complete. Stim, it looks like it's going to finish up in 3. No, it's denied. Stim is denied. Force fields being thrown down. Tanks are going down as well. And this might just be game. There is no Stim. The scan runs out. And with that, ReBellioN, actually, the Bio Army looking quite hefty here. If only we had Stim, if only. Raven comes in to support, but alas, it looks like it's too much. ReBellioN, he's breaking through that defensive line. He cleans up whatever's in the main. GG gets called, and in one fell swoop, ReBellioN will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. ReBellioN does take a lead in the series. Again, a very, very cheeky build here out of ReBellioN. As we were saying, a lot of it was precedented on the fact that there was no scouting. Vindicta, he did not see the fleet beacon. He did not see the building Mothership on the Nexus. He didn't see the Mothership moving out. Didn't see it getting into the main base. Like, there's a lot there that unfortunately Vindicta, he was denied vision, denied scouting. He did not see what was happening. On top of that, barely didn't finish Stim. Remember, Stim was like 3 seconds away, like 2 to 3 seconds away from finishing. It was very close. It was very, very clutch. And in the end, it did not complete. I'm saying that I don't know if Stim would have been a deciding factor. It's unclear. There was a little bio there. If Stim was available, would that have been enough to pull off a defense? Again, hard to say. Like, the tanks were force fielded in, so the tanks went down real fast and real quick. The tanks, they were the first to go down. Without those tanks, the ground army of ReBellioN did get out of hand as well. So again, it's hard to say. Definitely something that didn't help Vindicta in the defense, but regardless, GG well played. ReBellioN, he does pull off that first game, and we'll see if Vindicta can bring it back. Now what I will say here is that game 1 and that build, typically ReBellioN only does it once in a series. It's not something that you can rely upon, but what it does do is it kind of sets the pace here, and it sets the tone as well, because ReBellioN, he does come up with his own builds. Like, it's not like this build is something that everyone does. Not at all. It's very niche, and players like ReBellioN, Luna C, Adachi, even like some of the Korean up-and-coming Protoss players, they do like to share their builds with each other. It is something that he does whip out from time to time, but doesn't rely upon. And here we go. We're getting into our next game, loading into Ultra Love, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing among SE2 people. It is ReBellioN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Terran player, the Blue Terran representing the Final Heroes. It is Vindicta. New metagame. not quite, but some of the Korean Protosses, as I mentioned, like players like Lunacy, players like ReBellioN, players like maybe Ateshi as well, but this is well, what we saw in the last game is a very unique build that they do whip out from time to time, so always something to bear in the back of your mind if you are up against some of our Korean Protoss players, so do bear that in mind. But I don't expect to see that build again in this series. Maybe if we go to the Ace match, maybe ReBellioN will bring it back. But what's also important here is that I am sure that if we see another Stargate opener in this series, Migs is going to be on top of scouting. I'm sure that this time he will be willing to spend a scan, or willing to move out a little bit earlier on just to get a read on what's happening. I wouldn't be surprised if Vindicta has never seen that build before either, especially if you're not playing against these more up and coming Korean Protoss players, like the European Protosses. I don't think they're going for like those kind of mothership rushes. Like, I don't think that's happening necessarily. But this is a new build that was popularized, or did rise up with the latest patch, right? With the change to the mothership. Meanwhile, Bunker behind the mineral line. Bunker gets thrown down. Migs moving out, looking to deal some economic damage so far unscouted. Now, the purpose of this opener here is to deny mining time and to force out a shield battery and to force out a stalker. So try to force responses here out of ReBellioN, and so far the Bunker looks like it will finish. So Bunker will complete, Reaper's moving out, and let's go. Mothership Rush, Monka S, yeah. Of course, it's ReBellioN. Like, we expected it at least once in this series. Homono, he loves playing against it. I have heard. Homono, he loves it. He loves to die to it as well. As this time it is going to be a Twilight Council. So this time a Twilight Council opener out of ReBellioN. This should be Blink, so Blink based opener instead. The Stalker has arrived, shield battery has been thrown down, and no mining whatsoever here at the natural. So far very nice damage here from Vindicta. Now this opener has in a way been nerfed. It has been nerfed in the latest patch. For those that are maybe unaware, just because you don't see it too often, the Hellion does make its way into the main. The Hellion does get a full scout. Nicely done, does go from the Twilight Council. But for those that remember, when it comes to the patch and when it comes to the patch notes, the Bunker can no longer be salvaged. Or I should say it can be salvaged, but the salvage gets cancelled when the building gets attacked. So now this is more costly here for Terran players. Now most likely this Bunker will be killed instead of salvaged. Ooh, meanwhile across the map, that's going to be a delay in the CC. SCV does go down. Bunker under fire. SCV, oh, does fall. No room repairs. And it's now going to be dealt with. And the Bunker will be dealt with. Salvage is, yep, you can see there is denied, so no salvage. Almost got away with it with like 1 or 2 more seconds. It was close. That was a kill the Bunker, and across map Migs, he will now get his natural up and running. Likewise, 1-1-1 into Banshee. So we do have a Banshee-based opener. Bearing in mind, no cloak yet, so there's going to be no detection required to deal with this, but this can still deal some nice damage across the map. Just a bit of a lesser commitment here from Vindicta, going for the vanilla Banshees. I'm building up back at home. And again, he already scouted the tech, he's aware of the Twilight Council, he sees it researching as well. I'm sure he was maybe making sure there was no crazy like DT opener or something like that, which is viable in this matchup, which we do see from time to time. But no Dark Templar. No Dark Templar. 20 minutes of ads. I'll smudge. Not like this. So now we are just getting to our eventual 3-1-1 setup. As ReBellioN does move out. Likewise, Banshees are moving in, making their way into the main. So far, so good. Hey, I mean, ReBellioN out of position. Probe's going to be going down. Shield Battery will finish. Shield Battery will be enough to defend. Now it's time to focus on the offense behind this 4-gate. Oh, my apologies. A little bit distracted, but 4-gate blink here from ReBellioN. He's committed, but there are 2 bunkers. Yeah, 2 bunkers on the high ground. Oh, a bit of a premature auto turret here out of Vindicta, but so far he does maintain the natural. What about the main? What about the main base? He does have 2 tanks. Okay, 2 tanks in the main, 1 tank in the natural. So far, Migs, he's very well fortified. He has some nice SimCity as well. ReBellioN, he's rotating. And he takes a 3rd. Now, 4-gate blink isn't all in, but it's very committed. This 3rd base is late. It's a later 3rd base in favor of all these stalkers and in favor of all these gateways. Damage needs to be done. So far, getting 1 SCV. Gets a couple of SCVs. 1 so far. And it's okay, but ideally once more. Banshee does hit the natural. No shield battery within range. Gets 1 worker, denies mining time. Better damage here from Vindicta. And he defends well. He does defend well. And ReBellioN, he's denied access to the bases. And soon, Migs will break out. He's waiting for his upgrades, waiting for stim, combat shields, everything to finish up. Oh! Zoning away, that's Prism. And again, back at home, ReBellioN, he is in a bit of a worse place here. Going for the Dark Shrine. Makes sense. 1 behind, Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine is on the way. Charge, +1. Dark Templar can be very frustrating to deal with. There is... That's Raven. But the Raven's across the map. Prism is ready for those warpins. And no safety turrets. No safety missile turrets here. Is moving out. Yeah, he is spotted. As he moves out, Prism should be getting ready to move in. Most likely with those Dark Templar. This is still a hefty army though for Vindicta. Goes out the auto turret, scans ahead of time. Migs does move out. He does have that 3rd CC on the way, so Migs, he's not all in. Here come those Dark Templar. They're almost ready. But they need more time. Dark Shrine is still not done. Migs diving into the main. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll see Jub. Nice mind connection, takes out a stalker. Tank volley's going up. When he denies charge. Charge is denied. Here come those warpins. ZT's across the map. Dark Shrine has not been scouted as Cybercore goes down. And Migs is going for the kill at the same time. Turret. Oh, the Prism! Oh, the Prism goes down! Does not load. Does not load. 0 Dark Templar. Ay, ay, ay. No GT harass. Base is gonna go down. We can see ReBellioN trying to collapse on this army, but again, there's a slow lots. We'll clean this up eventually, but GG gets called, and a Vindicta, he will snowball out of control. He will take game 2. We're going to the ace match. Whew. We are going to the ace match. Hi, hi, hi. We could have ended up like in a weird base trade or something. Like those Dark Templar had potential across the map. More importantly, no charge makes it that much more difficult to break that siege line as well. It was brutal to see, not just like so much happen at once. It was charge being denied, but also Cybercore went down, which means no Stalker warp-ins. What does that mean? That means you can only warp in Zealots, Slow Lots to reinforce. So it was just the worst case scenario there for ReBellioN, only reinforcing with Slow Lots. DTs were across the map, they got shut down. GG. GG, well played. Whew. We're going to the ace match. We are going to the ace match, going all the way to game 3, and we'll see how this story ends. Of course, when it comes to Vindicta's move out and how strong it looked, a lot of it also came down to the opener of ReBellioN. Just as a reminder, ReBellioN did open 4-gate blink, and typically when you commit that heavily into that many warp ins, into that many gateways, you do need to get some value, get some damage done with those blink stalkers. And if you remember, what did he get? He got 1 SCV. He got 1 SCV in the main base. He didn't really get much damage done with those blink stalkers. He didn't break any tanks. He didn't take down any bunkers. Like, imagine that push with 1 or 2 less tanks, right? Like, if he had been able to snipe some tanks early on, then the push would have been definitely just weaker in general there, and it wouldn't have been as successful. Just a different kind of game state. Whew. So solid defense early on there by Vindicta, and now we're going all the way to the ace match. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the American Terran player, the blue Terran, representing the one of heroes. It is Vindicta. Whew. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from South Korea, representing among SE2 people. It is ReBellioN. Here we go. We are going to be jumping in. And again, welcome one and all to Persephone. For those that are curious, for those who maybe haven't seen this map, one, I would say, Bappy, you haven't been watching the Cranky Ducklings, what's going on? But the Team Liquid Map Contest 20 was a month ago? 2 months ago at this point, was quite some time ago, I should emphasize. And during the period of TLMC, we were featuring all of the newest maps. TLMC 20 ended last week, voting did conclude, and we have our finalists. And now that, you know, TLMC is over, we still are featuring some TLMC maps in our tournaments. We have removed the 3 older maps, so we do not feature Neo Violet Square, Abyssal Reef, or King's Cove. Those 3 maps are out. And instead, we do feature maps like Persephone, Sandworm, and Last Fantasy. Last Fantasy, of course, being the 3-player spawn map, Persephone also being a very popular map amongst the players. I mean, as you can see here, despite us only having 3 TLMC maps, players are willing to play on them. They're willing to play on those TLMC maps over the ladder maps. So players, it's really cool to see that they're embracing them. They're even preferring them over some of the ladder maps as well. When it comes to Persephone, I believe Persephone did it come second? I know that Last Fantasy came first in TLMC. I want to say Persephone was maybe second place. I'd have to double check. But some of the features here, first things first, healing pad. We got a healing pad on the right hand side in the center of the map. Right next to the healing pad, what we have? Speed zones and the gold expansion, which ReBellioN is sneaking by. It looks like he plans to proxy here on the right hand side of the map. But we have a bunch of speed zones leading into that gold expansion. We have like this entire alleyway on the right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, the rush distance by air is relatively short, and the rush distance by ground is very direct. When it comes to the natural base, there's no ramp coming into it, and it is a little bit more open here outside of the natural at the 3rd location. Do have some nice choke points, some nice points of elevation, so the triangular 3rd is relatively defendable. The linear 3rd base is a little bit more open on the low ground. Bear that in mind. For now, Twilight Council opener, are we planning for a proxy Dark Shrine? If we were, we'd already see a pylon, to be honest. Like, the Twilight Council is about to finish, there's no pylon here, so I'm not leaning towards proxy Dark Shrine. There we go, Blink is on the way, and we'll see how ReBellioN will piece this all together. As a reminder, last game, this was 4-gate Blink. We'll keep an eye on the gateways this time. Meanwhile, over from the side of Vindicta. He does slip into the main, gets a full scout into the main base, does confirm. Shield Battery will protect the mineral line, but he does confirm the researching Twilight Council. So you can assume it's going to be Blink. Likewise, Hellion into the natural, won't get much damage done. It does get eyes on the extra gateways, but it does go down. So Hellion does fall, 2 gates for the time being. Oh my god! God damn it. I had assumed it was for a proxy pylon, for like a proxy gateway or proxy tech. No. We're going 3rd nexus off of a 2-gate opener. Very greedy build, very economic. I would say a standard economic opener here if it was 2-gate blink into a 3rd, but it's 2-gate blink into a ninja gold base. Let's go. he's cooking, baby. Let him cook. Vindicta going in for his Widowmine drop. Just a single Widowmine. Does dive into the main. Oh. ReBellioN does pull away in time. Oh, does pull away. Mining is denied. Mining is delayed, I should say. And nice on Burrow. Ooh, will go down. And Migs, he does get a rescout of the main base. He does get eyes on the forge, on an extra gateway. He checks for the 3rd base, but something doesn't add up, right? Like, this gateway is late. Like, these are late extra gateways. Forge as well is a bit of an interesting choice because it typically means a longer game. We can see Migs, he's checking. Checks the linear 3rd, checks the triangular 3rd. He's looking for the base. He knows that something is missing here. And it's a ninja. And the Raven is rallied. I believe it is. I believe the Raven is rallied here to check before going across the map. There's a scan again. Migs, he's trying to figure out what's going on. He sees the gateways, but he knows that they're later than they should be. And he will confirm. He sees the recourse. He finds the ninja base. And Migs, he knows. And mining is denied. He's just parked here over the expansion. Whew. So again, really nice scouting out of Vindicta. You could argue he did spend a scan. True, he did spend a scan for this just to because again, at the time he was trying to figure out what was happening, what was going on, but he was able to piece it all together and he should be able to deny this. So at least he knows. ReBellioN is being active, but again, this army is relatively small. Remember, he did prioritize the expansion over gateways and over warp-ins. So we'll see how Migs will approach this. Okay, so bold move. Migs, he's going for a drop. Across the map as well, not towards the gold base. On the one hand, I do like this, because ReBellioN, he knows he got scouted, so he's in position to protect his gold. Back at home, nothing. Nothing, I say nothing. 2 Stalkers. There's 2 Stalkers back at home to defend. So this might force a recall. Or at least a defensive warp-in. Only a single drop though. Not too committed. Meanwhile, warp-ins here from ReBellioN. Charge is done. And back at home, we have 2 tanks to defend. They're getting in position. And so far, a sole position here for Vindicta. Oh, he spots it. He does spot it. Yeah, nice snipe. Observer goes down. Vision is denied. Another warp-in, though. Again, because of the gold base, we can afford all those zealots. We can afford extra gateways. How many gates is he on? 8. Jesus. An 8-gate setup. Mass charge. Does make sense. Drop it to the main base. There's that shield battery overcharge. Or energy overcharge. Despite that, takes down one of the Stalkers. Oh, almost gets another. And ReBellioN, he does not recall. He does not recall. He will clean this up. Meanwhile, auto turret here towards the gold. And Migs, he can't move out. Yes, he's aware of the gold base. He is delaying some of the mining here. But there are just so many zealots. He scans, he sees the army. Going for a drop instead. Oh, catches the Prism. Yeah, Prism up. Barely escapes. Barely does get away. Whew. Medevac did survive. Now, coming into this game set here, Migs is in a really awkward position. The goal base is up and running because that extra zealots, extra warp-ins, just a mass zealot army is waiting for him, and ideally, ReBellioN wants to fight out into the open. ReBellioN, he doesn't want to push into this. He doesn't want to push into a bunker, SimCity, and 2 tanks. But if he can catch Vindicta out in the open, that's going to be ideal. Migs knows this. Migs, he knows this, which is why he's contained. He's contained, he knows that he can't really move out yet. So he's trying to go for drop play, and he's going for a massive Dune drop. This is so risky. And right now, we do see the shade from ReBellioN. He's looking for the army. he sees there's not really much here at home, at least not at the natural, but it could be in the main, right? It could be in the main base. And without full confirmation, ReBellioN, yeah, he's not going to move in. He could, but he doesn't. He doesn't because he doesn't know. Massive Junior into the main base, forces a recall. Drop has arrived, so far so good. Chosen Pilot going to be going down. Barely not. The Warpin is lackluster here. The Zealots are going to be dealt with. And Migs, he's breaking through. He's breaking through. Snowballing out of control. He takes down all the Zealots, dives on top of the sentries, focuses down the Stalkers. And ReBellioN, he's racing back home. Core completely out of position. Again, it was a risky maneuver going for the Doom drop, but it did pay off. It did pay off from here. Migs, he's forced out, but he did trade very well. And now he can move out. Now he's broken free. He's broken free. He can unsiege his tanks. He doesn't. He will leave his tanks at home. We can move out with everything else. Prism getting caught out. Barely escapes. And Migs is going for the kill. He's going for the kill, going for the throat. Oh, missile goes off. Yeah, the Zealot army gets dusted. EMP is available. He's got that one ghost. Sorry, two ghosts now. Oh, and can he snipe that Robo in time? It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Can he get it? Oh my god, barely does. Robo goes down. No Colossus. And Vindicta, he does it. He has broken ReBellioN. The missile does run out, but we have a massive EMP. Yeah, EMP goes off. Zealots, they just melt. And Migs, he will snowball out of control, chasing down the final army. Again, barely no Colossus in time. Breaks through the Zealots, takes out the Stalkers, going for the expansion. And ReBellioN can just not engage. And despite the goal base getting up and running, he just cannot engage, cannot deal with this. Again, it was a wild maneuver going for the Doom drop, but also very calculated as well. What I'm getting at is that everything within ReBellioN was telling him not to push in, right? That's why it was important that he scouted with that hallucination, with that shade. But GG gets caught, and Vindicta will take the series 2-1. Whew, GG. Oh my god. GG, well played, congratulations. Vindicta, he will claim the series. Again, a very intense back and forth. And to go for the Doom drop there, again, winding it back a little bit, we spoke about how Vindicta was contained, right? We spoke about how he could not move out with his ground army, otherwise he would be caught out without his tanks, without his SimCity, so he was stuck at his natural, except he was able to sneak away with that Doom drop. In the lead up to it, remember, he sniped the Observer. Remember, he sniped the Observer well ahead of time, so there was no vision. Likewise, ReBellioN, he was trying to scout. He moved in with the Adept with the hallucination. He was trying to scout, trying to slip in. And he found that there was nothing in the natural, but that could just mean the army's in the main instead, right? That could just mean the army is in the main base. So, alas, he was caught with his pants down. He didn't have full confirmation. He missed the Doom drop. He had no vision on the left-hand side. And with that Doom drop, Vindicta did win the game, did just pick away at the army. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And now we're getting into our next series, into our next match.